Welcome to our edition of Let's Play Farming Simulator 2013 on Central Kansas. Alright, we had a couple things going on today. First of all, let me just make a public service announcement, a PSA I think they call it usually. I'm just trying out a different recording software for this particular episode, so it will probably be a bit of a shorter one, just as a test case. The audio issues have been bothering me a little bit with the other one, so I'm just trying to figure out how we can solve this problem here. So we're going to go ahead and see how we can work with this for now. We'll see what happens. But let's hop into our Massey Ferguson. So if you recall, last episode I was unable to get the Kid Forge Harvester to work properly with the West trailer. If memory serves, I have rectified that situation. Indeed, I have. Let's just go forward a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So, one of the problems we ran into was... Whoops. One of the problems we ran into... Wow, you can see this all the way. That's awesome. One of the problems we ran into was this trailer didn't work with the type of grass that was cut by the Kid Forge Harvester. So, I changed the trailer is what it boiled down to. I had to make sure the trailer accepted a particular type of grass. So that's what we did here. Going back to what I just said, before I forget about it again, about the different software. So as I mentioned, because it is a different piece of software I'm just messing around with, I am going to make it a bit of a shorter episode. Like, not like 10 minutes or anything that short, but it's kind of just to see how things work out. Because the audio issues are slightly annoying, and hopefully I can potentially use this software as a backup, I suppose, or as a secondary piece of software to use, sort of thing. So, and we'll see how it goes. Please give me some feedback in terms of whether this was okay or not. If it is okay, then maybe I'll use this for the time being. Basically, what I think I've narrowed it down to the fact that the software I used was updated, and because it was updated, my sound drivers and sound card doesn't play nice with the current rendition of the software for whatever reason. So not sure why that's the case, but it just doesn't seem to like it very much. So that's the deal with that. So please give me some feedback and let me know how this goes. I've never used the software for a full episode. I've done some other small stuff with it, nothing crazy, but so far so good. The one thing I have noticed so far is I can't make any quick movements, or as quick a movements as I normally would make, just because it will, it's a bit choppy from my side. So, as you can see, this is an enormous grass field. We don't actually own this field per se, but it's right here. No one's using it at the moment, so we can go ahead and use that easily. Might as well use it for this purpose, like, why not, right? Had a couple great comments from the previous episode. Let's check. So this is, I think this is this is episode 4, I guess, but these are comments from episode 1, I guess. So Texas Long Haul says, Ian, we don't always take the header off the combine in order to transport it. Sometimes they'll leave it on and transport it that way. Makes sense in certain situations. Cody Goes Crazy says he was commenting just as I was hooking up the PJ trailer. I was asking about the weight for the Fords. I don't know offhand. I think it might be a 5 or something. Nathan Robson is super excited the fact that we have a New Holland on this map. This is what he says: New Holland, New Holland, New Holland. Finally, some New Holland. So I guess he's really excited about the fact that we have some New Holland on the map finally. What else do we got here? Jake says he likes the JM grain cart. Good choice. Glad you like it, Jake. It's a really nice little grain cart. Like I said before, it's from Duke's Modding, so there's no links, unfortunately, for that particular mod. But it is indeed a fantastic mod. Jared says, "More. Keep it up. Keep up the good work." Thanks, man. Northern Warrior says, "Cool map, man." So I agree. It is a cool map, and I do enjoy it. So I'm gonna try and see where we can go with this. Caravera76 officially approved of my lowboy trailer. And I think one of the, I think I have a sneaky suspicion as to why. We actually had a little talk about the lowboy, and apparently that particular lowboy that I'm using is from the Netherlands, which is where he's from, so it's kind of funny as to the reason why. So he was pretty pumped about that. One other question I got was from Anders. He was like, "Are you going to do the one mission?" I don't know if you guys know about. There's one particular mission on this map that you can do. That kind of, it's one mission to rule them all, so to speak. So that's what Anders referring to there. I may or may not do it. I don't know yet, so we'll see how it goes. So those are some of the comments. Do we have any other ones that are good? Craft Farm says he really likes the map choice. He says he hasn't played this one specifically, but he really likes it. Jeffrey says great map choice again. Bob says great video, love the equipment. New Holland's nice. Can't wait for more. Excellent. Wow, this took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take to go around this field. Alright, so we are going to just head back to the farm there. And I'm just going to leave the Kid Forage Harvester attached. I really shouldn't, but I'm just going to leave it attached. This is the one thing I need to be careful about, is these little bumps here on this particular map. Just getting on and off the road, basically. So everything else seems to be okay, but getting on and off the road's a bit dicey sometimes, so we'll see. There's the water. Future reference. Actually, before let's go check on our combine, see how he's doing. Seems to be doing all right. Let me just, oh, we can't adjust that. Well, you can make it so that the steering wheel comes down a little bit, but obviously I haven't done that here. Excellent. Everybody seems to be doing well. Let's just set him to unload right now. So, if you recall, I was harvesting. I did a little bit of silage on this field, and I did a little bit of harvesting. Obviously, I'm doing the harvesting now. I was going to finish it off camera, but of course, as you can see, I did not. But I left it for this episode. Excellent. Alright, so this is the west trailer that I had to modify. Let's just... should I drive straight into the pigs facility? Can I just... what if I can drive right past here? Because sometimes what happens is some of these bunkers... oh, looks like you can. Some of these bunkers have the detector, the tipping point is like close enough so you could just drive past it like this and then it'll tip automatically. And it seems like these ones do have that, but I don't want to do that at the moment. I actually want to give this to the pigs. Might as well. I'm already this far over here. Technically I could just use that grass right there, and I think I just might do that because we got a little bit of grass right here. So alright, so I'm gonna try, eventually I'm gonna try and get probably a mixing get a mixing wagon or mixing trailer of some sort, just so I can drive into there appropriately and without having to use a tipper, because honestly you probably wouldn't drive into a pig barn with a tipper, mainly because you wouldn't want to take out the roof. That's my feeling on that. Alright, let's drive through here. I felt might as well take the Kid Forage Harvester off. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, now the pigs should... there it is. Excellent. So this should give the pigs more than enough grass, or silage in this case, to get them to keep them going. The corn did not last at all. The corn they basically went through 2,000 liters of corn like there was no tomorrow. There we go. Sheesh. Alright, that's probably close enough. I think this tractor has one of those features where if you look out behind the tractor, you actually kind of like look up and over. Like this one I think has the same thing. It's not obvious, but it just seems that way. But either that or this tractor has really good visibility. A lot of tractors don't when you look out the back like this, but this one definitely does, which is really nice. Alright, let's hook up the trailer there again and get this going. So the reason why we're starting off so early with the pigs is because they're not super crazy. Is there a great demand coming up for pigs? There is, in 3 days. So hopefully in 3 days we'll have a good number of pigs we can sell. And also it does allow us to have a little bit of I don't know, not leeway, but not silage. Slurry. Wow, there we go. It does allow us to have a little bit of slurry, so we can deal with that. I'm just going to use this field right here for grass, because it's a pretty big field, actually. It's not really a field, but I'm going to use it as one. Because if you're a farmer, you could make any piece of your property a part of your field if you really wanted to. So that's what we're doing right here. We got this nice big patch of grass right here and over there. So we're just going to chop this up into grass and give it to our pigs. Give them a little bit of productivity going. Alright. Also, the other good thing we're doing is we're also keeping the grass down around the field. Actually, this has already been... looks like it's already been cultivated on the outside. I know some people like to cultivate the outside edges of their fields. Like in Farming Simulator, I mean. Just because it does allow them to keep the wheat, well, make it look like you can see the edges, basically, of the field better. So, it doesn't bother me that much, but some people, it definitely does bother them. So they're like, whoa, what are you doing? Make sure you get that down pat correctly there, so we'll see. I'm not quite like that. I don't mind having a little bit of grass around the edges, but the edges of the field, like, see how, like, right there's a little bit of grass? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Some people hate that. They hate it so much that they go out of their way to cultivate around the outside edge. Is that bush floating? Yep, it definitely is. Wonder if that was intentional or not. So the program I'm using, if you're wondering, is it's a free open source program called Open Broadcast Software. It's actually the program I use to do a little bit of streaming every now and then. One of the things I'm just testing out to see how it works is local recordings, which is basically recording it to your own computer, as opposed to putting it onto Twitch or YouTube or whatever else. So because of that, I'm just kind of testing it out to see how it works. One thing I don't like so far is it makes my game choppy. The frame rate drops a little bit, so I can't do anything too crazy. I think what will happen is the video will drop a little bit. I think what will happen, but the audio will be straight still or fine still. So I don't know. That's the feeling I get at the moment. So something along those lines. It's kind of one of those situations where it works, but I'm not saying it's not going to work well. It's just a question of finding the right settings. That's what I've discovered with this particular program. It's finding the right settings to get it to work properly. So, does this have indicators on it? Oh, it doesn't show on there though. Oops. Turn the indicators off. We don't need to have them on. Alright, so eventually I think what we'll do is we will get a much bigger system, because this is... for the size of this farm, this little kid forage harvester is not going to last very long. Not long at all. Now, some people did suggest I should do the one mission, because in that one mission, apparently it's lucrative, so I've been told. So that's definitely a possibility in order to, you know, increase productivity by getting some bigger equipment is what it boils down to. So there we go. Nice. Alright, let's go check on the other guys for the time being. Almost done. Excellent. And him, he's just chilling out there. Whenever I tab over to him, I always set him to drive now, because the amount of time it takes to unload this grain cart takes forever. So let's just do a demonstration here. So this is at 42%. 42%, let's see how long it takes. So we're at 1403. Now, it may take longer now because this truck's almost full, but there we go. One of the funny things, I love how it increases the RPMs there. That's awesome. So one of the cool things about this is that when these trucks stop, they wouldn't normally puff smoke like that. I think if they were stopped, maybe it's just me, but I guess they do here. So I don't know. It just looks cool. But as you can see, the New Holland here, a little bit of black smoke puffing out there. It's increasing the RPMs to turn on the auger here. That's so cool. That's one of the coolest features about this particular tractor. I don't think every tractor has that feature. Only some of them do, so it's a nice little addition that they put in there. I think that truck's going to fill up before. Yeah, looks like he probably will. It's going to be close. Oh, it'll probably be like, yeah, pretty darn close. Let's just set him to continue, because that combine's going to be, well, not that full actually. Not a big deal. Alright, let's finish off here. Just at 70%. And we'll finish off the rest of this trailer and we'll put it in the pig building, and then we'll probably get set up for planting. And good news, that seeder and fertilizer combination is basically about the perfect size for that field that's on right now. So if we get to a bigger field though, it's going to be a problem because it is going to run out eventually. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it in the future. I may separate the two tasks in the sense that I set one so it does it like just one fertilizer and then one seeding, only because when they work together they don't CoursePlay doesn't keep track of both things. It only keeps track of either fertilizer or seed, not both. So if you want to try and have it restock one in the middle of a task, it doesn't work so well. So one of the unfortunate things. Anyhow, I was reading an article a while back. I've been meaning to talk about this article, but I keep forgetting about it. A really interesting article talking about how cash crop farmers look at their equipment versus livestock farmers. And one of the interesting things is just that on the one hand, some farmers were looking for more less maintenance, more reliability, and the other ones were looking for like more power, I guess, what kind of boiled down to. I can't remember the exact thing, but it was interesting to see the difference between the two, because one was looking for like more like low maintenance, one was looking for reliability. So, well, I guess if you have livestock, you basically have to be on point the whole time, because if your vehicles stop working, it doesn't work out very well for you, because then you still have to do something. You have to take care of your animals somehow, and if you can't because your machinery is broken down, not so good. Alright, this guy's full. Let's go give this to the pigs. Excellent. Oops, I probably should have detached the kid forage harvester. Oh well, too late now. Grass is not accepted here. Go forward a little bit more. Where's the grass accepted? Somewhere around here. Oh, is it gonna be what? It should be fine. Oh goodness, this is always the funny thing. Finding that's nope, there it is. Finding the sweet spot for the grass or straw or whatever it happens to be. There is a sweet spot in most pig buildings, but it's not easy to find all the time. So excellent, excellent. All right, let's turn this guy off and let's hop into the Cummings here. It's not space to take the parking brake off. I don't know, it's usually spacebar to remove most parking brakes, but it's not for this one, obviously. Let's put the dualies on first. And the cool thing about this tractor, you can see the flywheel right, well, the fan, once you turn it on. Nice. Now the funny thing is, you can wait for the sound, like the start sequence to end, or you can just drive. You don't have to wait for it. I discovered that a while back. And, actually, where is it? you can unfold the steering wheel. Check this out. I didn't realize you could do this. But, and you can open the doors here too. Pretty cool little tractor if you ask me. Alright, so gotta plant corn again. Don't have any other options yet. So I think that might be one of the first things, the next thing we should probably buy is a different header. Because you don't want to plant corn every single time because it's not good for your field, and you'll run into problems for sure. Well, in real life. In Farming Simulator it doesn't make a huge difference, but we're not playing by real world rules, but I like to consider them when I play the game, so for now, this will be corn, what, 3 times in a row, so I know some farmers in real life who have done this, who have planted corn 3 times in a row. It's definitely not good to do that, because then you end up getting the insects and whatnot produce a little bit, get a little bit more resilient to the insecticides you use, and the weeds get a little bit more resistant because they're the same weeds every single time. So the herbicide you produce as well is a little bit more, it's not as effective as well. So those reasons, or say for those reasons, that's why it's not always good to plant the same thing more than once. Also, it's you also decrease the what happens is you also decrease certain nutrients in the soil. So for example, if you plant corn multiple times, you'll run into a deficiency of the nutrient that corn needs. So then you'll have to put more of that nutrient into the soil in some way. So that's one of the main reasons why why it's important to rotate crops and whatnot. So in light of that, I am going to try and I'm going to try and get a different header. Oh, we could totally sell. Is there any corn great demand coming up? Canola, wheat, and pigs. What combine do we have? Oops, wrong button. Let's go take a quick peek at what we got here. Reminds me of an old Guns N' Roses song. What we got here is a failure to communicate. Some of you will know what I'm talking about. Alright, that's 50 grand. Yikes. And this is an extra 10, so we go looking at 60 grand if we want this. I don't know. The cutting platform extended by 80 centimeters. I don't know if this actually makes a difference or not. It's hard to tell. I think it looks cooler, but that's just me. And that's 20 grand for that, but we already have a trailer. That's expensive. Holy cow. We're looking at 50 grand. We should be able to get 50 grand from selling some corn. Should be able to. Now, interestingly enough, there was a really interesting comment. I think I mentioned this in the Glen Manure Farm, but I'll mention it here again. Someone was talking about how the JCB, the fast track that we had on the OGF Baird farm, while it is a good tractor, it probably wouldn't be able to handle the seeder very well on hills and on terrain that was kind of not flat, essentially. So it's a really interesting comment about that. Alright, this guy is... he is done. Let's empty the last little bit of corn out of here. We got like two liters apparently. That's it. Jeez. Alright, so let's just... I'm just going to drive it over the road onto this field for the time being and just leave it out of the way here. Let's fold up the combine for the time being. Excellent. And then we'll just turn it off. And this guy, you can drive now. Alright, oops. So I'll set this guy to drive on the first course here. First little spot here, and we'll go from there. I do like this tractor. I don't know why. Must be the old school look of it. I'm not sure. So the funny thing happens is when it does the headland, it actually stops like right here. That's where the fertilizer stops. The seed is still good, It still produces enough seed, which kind of threw me off, actually. So I honestly didn't expect it to have enough seed. It actually ran out of fertilizer. Go figure. And it might just be because I set it to a slow speed, but I'm not 100% on that, so something to keep in mind. Alright, so, like I said, I'm going to keep this episode a little bit short just because I don't know much about this software yet, or enough about the local recording. So I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to stop it there for the time being, and I'll have to watch this episode again to get just to take a look at what it's like, and then we'll go from there. So, my name is Iain Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2013 on Central Kansas. I'll talk to you guys later.